Check, check, check. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Thursday. We're doing Thursday Think Tank. We got quite a few different kind of things to talk about today. Let me just my main focus for today's Thursday Think Tank call-in show is FIBA. Is the FIBA games going on right now? We had Jakob Poeltl play yesterday for Austria and win over Netherlands in Austria. It was a fantastic game. I watched it. We can go over that. Of course, we've gotten our schedule for the play-in for the in-season tournament, the Emiratis tournament. We've got Global Jam that happened last night. Some stuff talking about that. Just a lot of different stuff to cover. There's a Scarborough Shooting Stars play-in game tonight also. So lots to cover on the channel today. The phone lines are open. If you want to call me on the show, I'll put you on live and we'll talk over the air on the air. You can espouse your opinions on basketball and Canada issues, whatever you want to call and talk about. The phone line's open. If you have access to the phone number, you can find it. That's right. That's right. All right. Let me get right in the chat and see what you guys are saying here. It's interesting. Isaac Campbell's got me as MVP. Okay. Thank you, Isaac. It was fun to watch the Austria game with Isaac yesterday. Isaac was in the Discord with me. We're watching and goofing around, talking a lot of topics, but very much enjoying watching Yakb play so well. You know, Isaac and I are active on Jakob Poeltl's Facebook page. He has a Facebook page where he writes reactions to games after Raptor games and other things and kind of checks in with the people. And we're speculating. I wonder if Yakb actually reads our comments. I think he does. Because a couple days ago, I wrote Yakb a message saying, get that payback, Yak, for the 1 point loss to Netherlands in the Netherlands 10 days ago. I'm like, And when he wrote his reaction yesterday, he said, we avenged the loss to the Netherlands before. It's like, that's awesome, man. But yeah, Isaac and I are on there talking to Yakb in the comment sections quite often. And I think he reads it because he's that kind of guy. It's like I can tell that he's making those posts himself. And I mean, if we're going to write in there, I'm sure he sees it. You know, this is something that I did a couple years ago, right? I think it was in the middle of his Spurs career, right in the middle. I sent a message to Yakb on his Facebook page. And I said, Yakb, I hope someday that you can return to Toronto and play for the Raptors again. And well, guess what? That's what happened. And I was like, man, that would be so cool if you could be on the Raptors again, man. And well, guess what? That's what happened. And that was right around when people like Cool Cat and I were like, man, we got Jakob Poeltl back on this team. That would be great. That would be fantastic. And we were talking about it a lot on this channel for a little while, that the fit of Yakb coming back to Toronto is actually really good. And we've been proven right since he's been back. There's a lot of idiots to say otherwise, but no, Yakb has been a great return back. And he's happy doing it. And you know what? We're happy for it too. And I was like, that's what I was saying, man. I hope you can come back, Yakb. And he did. He did. So who knows if he saw my message or not? And he said, well, Raptors Freak wants me to come back to Toronto and play for the Raptors again. Maybe I should. Well, you got traded. You got traded to the Raptors after all. The Raptors wanted you and they went and got you back. And that's fantastic. I love that so much. Maybe they heard me talking about it, or maybe they heard you guys talking about it, get Poeltl back. And they did. They went and did it. Seymour Pape is here. Good morning to the sheriff, Seymour Pape. 4 quarters make $1. The call-in show today. That's right. This phone is here. This phone is here, and it is on, and it is ready to take your calls. I'll put you on the air, and we will talk any of these subjects. I know that earlier this week, Infamous had something about something I said on Sunday Report that he didn't agree with, and he was telling me on Sunday I'm going to have to call in on Thursday to give my side of things. So I hope if Infamous is watching, definitely please call in and let's hear how you feel about my Sunday Report this week. I know that not everybody agrees with my points on parity and the league and how it's good for the league and no dynasties. And I would like to hear an opposing counterpoint and a viewpoint so that we can talk about it and flesh out all the sides to it. That's right. I want to see that. Logical Raptors fanatic in the house. Salute. Project Truth. Mike, thank you. And I see on Discord you have, it's part of the discussion you're talking about with the things we're talking about. All right, here. No. Raptors indigestion dropped the cap video. I got real numbers. There you go. The real cap numbers. Mike has got it right here, and that's fantastic. So he's got the cap numbers right here. The active cap is everything without non-guaranteed bonuses and cap holds, etc. We're $5 million under the first apron. Then we had 2.2 million of Lawson and Battle, and we're still good. Shaking my head. F off with the bad RJ trades. There you go. So Mike is looking at the cap numbers. He's a capologist. He's gone in there and looked at it, and he can suss out and tell right now that all the worries about getting under the first apron are stupid, because we're actually being managed by a capologist genius named Bobby Webster, who makes all the puzzle pieces fit exactly right within the money structure of the NBA's rules. And that we should trust in Bobby, like we trust in Masai still and trusted in Masai before, that Bobby's running this team in a competent way where he understands how to balance this all and get the best quality and the best possibilities out of our salary cap money. So it's like Mike is saying, it's like all this chicken littling, all these articles coming out from different Raptors sources about the Raptors need to do a trade to do this, to be safe and all this stuff. It's all bullshit. And Mike has the numbers and the evidence and the proof to show it. I salute you, Project Truth. Mike. That's right. Logical Raptor Snack. Kaz is here. Salute everyone. Salute you, sir. Salute you, sir. Let's go look at the WNBA since Kaz is here. And there are no games today, so no ref report. So no games today. Really active, crazy day in the WNBA yesterday. I really wish I'd known that Tina Charles was going to play last night. I would have activated her and got her in there because I would be in the lead in my matchup with Meredith right now. It's a very competitive matchup. He's ahead by 20 now. Aja Wilson is wrecking me, y'all. Aja Wilson is wrecking me this week, man. I'm telling you right now. All right, here we go. We got a call. Let's get in on this call right here. Let's see. Caller, you on the air?
Anyway.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait, what song was that? That was the Raptors song, right? For the broadcast, right?
Yeah, the TSN one. That was like 13 years ago or something.
Name that tune. Raptors Freak, name that tune. That is the TSN broadcast for Raptors. Dun, 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 dun. You should came on with NBC on NBA on NBC.
Hold on. Yeah, we got a lot to go through. We can go through this.
All right. Wait. It's time for 4 quarters with the sheriff, Seymour Pape. Let's go to first quarter, sir.
Yeah, first quarter. Okay, so I don't know if you heard the news with the Carolina Hurricanes purchasing the Portland Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So part of the question for first quarter is, do you see the ownership of the Carolina Hurricanes possibly moving a second team to the Carolina region?
No. And the reason why is because there's not enough people in North Carolina to support 2 teams. The Hornets are already there. And I've heard that the ownership of the Hurricanes that just bought the Blazers do not plan to move that team at all, that they will honor them being there. Yeah. Go ahead.
The Carolina Hurricanes, if I'm not mistaken, I think they play out of South Carolina.
I'm not totally sure. I'm not totally sure.
It's out of South Carolina. It's not North Carolina. It's South Carolina.
Either way, I'm going to say this because the populations of the Carolinas is not that super huge. South Carolina doesn't have a whole ton of people. And I think that region's pretty saturated for NBA markets because in some ways Atlanta bleeds into that region too. And so does the Wizards. The Wizards, the Hornets, and the Hawks are all kind of right around that mid-Atlantic region where Allen Iverson grew up. And
the DMV sort of? Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah, that's all Washington, Charlotte, Atlanta kind of triangulation around there. They'd be better. And then you got to even think about Memphis is a little bit in that region also, not that far on Tennessee. So I just don't think that there's enough population and enough economics to support a second NBA team in that area. The Hornets struggle to get people in their games, and in some ways, adding another team in that area is not going to help. I don't think it's feasible.
Well, hold on. Here's another thing to add to it. Charlotte, that's been a losing franchise forever. Winning changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
winning does change a lot of things. I think there is a fan base in that region. It's just that the team's been look, the greatest player to ever play the game had to walk away from that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, damn, man, I'm tired. Like, you know, you have to wipe his hands with that. So
yeah,
I think winning could change some stuff. It's a very sports region. Look, we got 2 guys, maybe 3 guys on our team right now from the Carolina region. You got Brandon Ingram, you got Colin Murray Boyles,
yeah.
and I'm not too sure. There might be another player on our team.
I'm trying to think. Those guys for sure. Now, the thing about that market is it's all about college sports. That's the thing. In some ways, it's the same thing for the Carolina Panthers. Is that like, look, you can't beat, certain college teams. NC basketball, Duke basketball. This is what the Hornets are competing with. Is the college game in a lot of ways, and that's another reason why it's not going to do as well there, is because more people will spend their sports entertainment dollars on the college games than actually on the pro games in that region, because it's the college sports place that there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's bedded in. It's dug in like an Alabama tick. It's dug in already.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Okay, so
quarter number 2.
Yeah, number 2. Steve Clifford joins the Phoenix Suns. Your thoughts on him joining the coaching staff over there?
Well, I mean, you're wondering if it's a needle pusher. I don't see it being a needle pusher. Now, that's a new coaching staff with Phoenix. Jordan Ott is taking over. This is going to be like the 4th or 5th coach in every year for the Suns, which has been a mess. I mean, Steve Clifford coached in Orlando, and he also coached in Charlotte, and he never was successful. It's not like he's overly successful NBA like person. I don't know. I think it's a non-move. It's not that interesting. I guess Jordan Ott wanted more experience on his bench to help him with like real game experience. And I think about it is you just reminded me that he's not coaching Charlotte anymore, and that there's who is it? Charles Lee's the coach of Charlotte at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Charles Lee.
Yeah. Quarter number 3.
To Ott there in Phoenix?
Yeah, Jordan Ott is the new coach of Phoenix. He was.
Are you related to him in any way?
No. He's got a T at the end of his name, and I got an S. So, but yeah, people get my name confused with Ott sometimes, but no, I'm Otts.
Okay. All right. So,
quarter number
3. Next, which Raptor has picked up the most technical fouls in his career in a Raptors jersey?
Are you talking current or all time?
All time.
All time. Oh gosh, I think it's Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, you got that.
yeah. Tuesday trivia on a Thursday. Lex gets the trivia, so that's right. I'm pretty sure it was Kyle Lowry. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to stir the coffee with that one. All right, so the 4th one.
Fourth quarter with Sheriff Seymour Pape.
If they came to you with the NBA Jam idea, which 3 Raptors are you putting in the game?
Oh, cool. I like this question. This is very fun. NBA Jam was such an iconic, amazing arcade game when I was a child with the big heads and the crazy dunks. And he's on fire. Right now, if I had to do it, I'd just go barbecue. Easy. I go barbecue. I don't want to step on any toes. We just go barbecue. Barnes Barrett in quickly. And that'll be fine. Brandon Ingram, maybe the secret character that you unlock. I don't know.
Damn, you leaving your man Yakb?
Yeah, because in some ways, even like they have the advertisements out for the in-season tournament. They're putting 4 Raptors or 5 Raptors on there, and they subbed Grady out for Yakb. They put Brandon, Scotty, Emmanuel, and RJ with Grady. No, Yakb is fine. Yakb is this kind of guy who's getting paid. He's steady. In some ways, he doesn't care about the spotlight too much. He just wants to go work and have success and win. So,
see, but we were talking about this earlier about how America operates with the media.
Mm-hmm.
So they subbed out Yakb and put in Grady because Grady is more marketable for them stateside.
But it wasn't them, though. It was our own team that did that. It was a graphic from the Raptors.
And I guess that's crazy. Yakb, man, we got to show a lot of love to Yakb because in my eyes, he is a top 10 center in the league.
Yep.
And the fact that he wants to be here, we got to hold on to that.
Yep.
Not a lot of people are walking around saying they want to put on a Raptors jersey.
Yep.
So I think we got to hold on to that for sure.
Yeah.
And it's scary, especially at that position. I think the last 5-6 years since we lost Gasol and Ibaka, it's been tough to fill that 5 position.
That was true. Yeah, but until Yak showed back up, and we've been good since then. But when he's hurt, we really see how much we miss him. No, I mean, we put that extension on him this summer, and he's locked in with us till 2030 at this point now. So I think we're good. We got him for like another 5 years or something right now. So we're in good shape. You know, his contract extension was done already to extend it even further. So this guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. So unless we trade him, but I don't see Bobby doing that. I don't see Bobby doing that. He's too valuable and essential to our team. Sheriff, anything else today, sir, from the land of Calgary? Overtime comment, maybe on top of the fourth, or you want to?
Evelyn got back to me, but yeah, she said by the time that she would end up getting a shirt out to me, it wouldn't be.
So she did get back to you, and she said that she could make the shirt still. Oh wow! I mean,
she could still make the shirt, but she wouldn't be able to get it to me. And my whole mailing situation is messed up right now because the dog in the warehouse bit the mailman, so they Canada Post suspended all mail to my workplace. So
wait, are you saying that your dog bit the mailman and they won't bring you your mail anymore?
It was like, yeah, we got like 3 dogs on the property.
Oh, okay.
One of the dogs bit the mailman.
That's wild, man. That's wild. I mean, that's classic. That's classic. That's all you know. That just is something that happens. I mean, I was a delivery driver for DHL for a while down in Florida, and I got bit a few times just coming to people's houses. And often they were just little nips and not like dangerous or hurtful, like bleeding or anything like that. Like one time I got bit by a Chihuahua when I was trying to deliver this old lady came to the door. Said, "Oh, you're so kind, bringing me my mail." And I like tried to hand her the Chihuahua, and I said, "Oh," I tried to touch the Chihuahua. It just bit my hand as soon as I put my hand near it.
Yeah, they get real vicious, man. Them little Chihuahuas, man.
Yeah.
They got that little dog syndrome. You know, people say little man syndrome. Yeah, the Chihuahua got the little dog.
Yeah. They got that big dog energy, even though they're little. That's for sure. All right, Seymour. I love you, man. I appreciate you calling. I like this new segment, 4 Quarters with Seymour Pape on a Thursday Think Tank call-in show. Yeah, man. Let's go. I agree with you about giving more respect and attention to Jakob Poeltl, but in some ways he doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's weird.
Oh, last thing before I jump off this call.
Sure.
Did they win yesterday or no?
Yeah, they won by 13. They beat Netherlands, and they are the number 1 team in their group now. They needed to do this. This was a do or die game, and they needed to beat them by more than 1 point because that's how much Netherlands beat them in Netherlands. So they have this.
They're doing like a point differential type system over there?
Well, it depends on whether they finish with the same record. You know, like if let's say both the Netherlands and Austria win their games against Bulgaria, both games, and both teams end up being that would mean they're both 3-1. Then it would go to point differential because they both only had 1 loss, and Bulgaria had won nothing. The Austria, needs to go to Bulgaria and play Bulgaria 1 more game to complete the set, and they need to win that game too. And Netherlands still has to play 1 more game, I believe, against Bulgaria also. So, yeah.
Jack got that. He got it. He got them.
He looked really good yesterday. Honestly, out of the 3 games that he's played for Austria in the last 2 weeks, that game last night, in some ways, it was one of his better games because he was moving really well and very active, and he was blocking crazy shots. And he was a real, in the first quarter of the Austria-Netherlands game yesterday, the Netherlands had 2 points on their score up until like a minute and a half at the end of the first quarter. I was really hoping that Austria would hold them off and end the first quarter with them only having 2 points. But they let them kind of get back into it, and they scored a bunch of points real quick in the last minute that made it look better. But part of that was Yakb. Yakb was very much facing off every time the ball was in their hands. Wherever the ball was, he was just turning and facing and getting in the way of the other team in the basket. And it was very effective. Let's just put it that way. So
was there any Raptors there supporting him? Like, you know how they do at Summer League and this?
No, because this game's in Vienna. Or I don't know if this one was in Vienna, but the last one was in Vienna. It was in Austria, And I don't know how many of the Raptors are still in Europe right now. I don't think many of them are. I think they've all pretty much came back over from the Madrid mini camp. So,
damn, the life of the private jet, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Well, once again, man, stay hydrated. Wash your damn hands, as you always say.
Damn hands.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Are you saying that there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
That's right. That's right. All right, Seymour, all the best, man. And I look forward to your calls every week. I hope that we can do this every Thursday.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
All right, cool, man. Great 4 quarters with the Seymour Pape coming in with the 4 quarters of topics and going over some stuff, talking some Phoenix and Charlotte there. Very interesting shakeups going on around the league. Yeah. All right, let me get back to what was I looking at when he called in real quick. Yeah, Yakb yesterday, his stat line, he played 23 minutes. He had 12 points. He shot 4 of 6 from the field, and he was 4 of 5 at the free throw line. He had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. And yeah, he was the most efficient player for Austria, and a very, very good job. Other players to note, Landsberg was really good in this game. Sylvan Landsberg bombing some threes, making 1 at least, but 4 of 8 for him with 14 points, 5 of 6 at the free throw line. So yeah, Landsberg and Poeltl, big time for them, for Austria in the 83-70 victory. You know, the game was not even close in the fourth quarter. There was an opportunity for Yakb to just sit the whole last fourth quarter because Austria had been beating them by like 20 points at the end of the third. It was really looking like they may not put Yakb back in the fourth quarter. But alas, Netherlands tried to make a flurry of an attack to come back and try and win the game. And they got the score down to like maybe 12. And then they brought Yakb back in for like the last 5 minutes of the game. But it looked like they were not going to have to use him in the fourth quarter at all because Austria had a lead like that. It was very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. That's right. Mike is saying this. Laugh out loud. There's crazy energy around Poeltl at the moment. Not going to lie. That first report of salary hit people in a way. It's upsetting. He's so solid and his pay is legit. It's not an overpay. It's just casuals that look at him and they say, this guy's not a serious NBA player because he just seems like a goofy white guy. And they just look at him and they're like, oh, this guy doesn't seem like he can play. That's bullshit, man. There was a play that he did yesterday where he and I was talking about this with Isaac when it happened. I was like, I wish he would do this more in the NBA, where he was at the top of the key, like on the 3-point line, and he went off the dribble and took his man off the dribble and laid it up like he was a small forward. And I was like, damn, that was a quick first step by Yakb. And he dribbled, forced in with his shoulder and laid it up into the guy. That was totally not a post-up move, totally not a give and go, totally not a screen and roll, not a pick and roll, none of that stuff. He did a play where he had the ball at the top of the key facing the basket, and he decided he could beat his man off the dribble, and he did. I was like, damn, that was cool, because he dribbled with his left and then came up with the left at the basket. And I was like, that's a 3 move. That's like a 2 or a 3 move. He's doing a slasher move, R5 in that way. So he's some footwork and great footsteps. I was actually joking that maybe Yakb should be handling the ball for Austria because his ball handling skills are just as good as the point guards on Austria. Seriously, he could be doing a lot more because his skill level is so off the charts. And then the other thing that's cool about him, Mike, pertaining to what you're talking about right here, is that man's making $20 million a year. And he's out on the court, and he has no airs to himself. He's absolutely humble. You would never understand that man has all the money in the world that he ever want because he's just unassuming. He's just a nice guy, and it's just Yakb. And it's like, it's so crazy. He could have heirs to him, honestly, because he's an NBA player, and he makes a lot of money. But no, he's just another one of the guys. He's so humble. He's out there, and he's doing hard work and dirty work even. He's not above it. And I love that about him. I mean, the man makes more money than his whole entire rest of his team. The man makes more money than his whole rest of his team and the other team combined. But if you watch the game last night, it's not like he's out there being a prima donna or I'm better than anybody. No, he's just out there working hard, busting his ass, helping Austria win. And I love that. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. I watched a bit of Global Jam games, but focused on WNBA games. New York Liberty versus Aces was so competitive. It was crazy. And speaking of competitive, our WNBA league was very competitive last night. In fact, like I said, MK and I were going back and forth with our lead in our matchup, and he's ended up being 20 points ahead of me right now. But man, it's so close. Cool Cat, you are ahead right now by about 30 points over Kareem. That's a very competitive matchup. JP is absolutely stomping Edmund, though. Logical, you are beating James now by about 90 points. Kaz is beating Fiercely by about 120. And I am losing to Meredith by 20 right now. But yeah, a lot of this was like that Aces game and the Liberty. And like, man, Emma and Natasha Cloud. I have a few of the Liberty players, and they're very helpful. But yeah, Aja Wilson's killing me this week. Aja had that historic game, this just the last game, not last night, but the game before, where she got like 30 points and 20 rebounds. And that absolutely destroyed me. That like put Meredith's team like, whoop. It's crazy. But there's no games tonight. We're taking 1 day break. But yeah, there's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to close out the regular season of our fantasy WNBA season. And then the playoffs start on Monday. So be ready. Be ready. A lot of y'all are in it. So be ready. That's right. Mike saying he added two. Hang on. Let's jump ahead. Let me make sure I get back to it. He added 2 years and a third where it's half money guaranteed after the final 2 years of his contract deal, a.k.a. below 20 million. Yeah, it averages out really well. And I mean, that's a fair price for him. Honestly, it's going to look better and better as time goes on. Trust me. It's going to look better and better. Dan Rosario's here. Good morning to Dan Rowe, a fact checker. Canada goes 1-1 versus Brazil in the Global Jam. Yeah, the women won, but the men did not. Yeah, the women absolutely dominated. It looks like 104-56, and the men's side lost 85-78. Yeah, that's the undergroups. That's not like it's not the America team that's going soon that was announced recently with Trey Bell Hayes. No, this is an undergroup, and these are youngsters that are really kind of not totally known at all. And well, Brazil had a better crop and a better game, and they won, and that's interesting. But yeah, Global Jam getting started last night, and they paraded out the Canadian Olympic men's team, which was fantastic. We saw Lugetz Dort show up with the championship trophy, the Larry O'Brien, and holding it up in the Maple Leaf Gardens at Mattamy Center, and holding it up over his head as a champion with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that was cool to see Larry show up at Global Jam last night, along with Benedict Mathurin. I heard Zach Eady was in the house last night too. They had Dylan Brooks, Nickel Alexander Walker, Melvin Ejim, RJ Barrett, they're all down there. Jamal Murray. It's really, really cool to see just how many of the Canadian men's Olympic team showed up for Global Jam last night and waved to the crowd and said hi to everybody. Fantastic event. And it's going on all weekend. In fact, the finals of Global Jam are on Sunday night. And there's going to be like this event's going on. This is like a 4 or 5 day event. So yeah, Global Jam's in effect, y'all. Dan Rosario has given us the stat line for Poeltl: 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists to help Austria beat Netherlands 83-70. It was a fun game, and there was some very emphatic blocks by Yakb. There was one in particular where the little point guard for Netherlands was on a fast break. He thought he got in front of everybody, and he thought he had the opportunity to lay the ball up, but no, Block-Up said no. And he came over, and he really blocked the crap out of it. In fact, it kind of stunned the Austrian crowd about how monstrous the block was. And then also he had a really nice take to the basket where he didn't get it totally clean, but he was coming to the basket and the defender got in between him and the basket, and he's coming up to dunk it. And the guy kind of got his hand on the ball, but Yakb went around him and still dunked it on his head. And that was the other really good highlight that Yak had in that game. So he was aggressive going to the basket with that take off the dribble. And then the dunk where the guy got in between him and the basket, and he dunked it on his head. And then that block by him, on the little point guard for Netherlands. That was hilarious, man. But yeah, great game by Austria. The other thing that really helped them was the home crowd. They were really, really supporting them well. That Austrian arena was completely jam-packed, was completely sold out. And there was a fan section at the end of the court where they color coordinated their shirts to represent the Austrian flag. They had the front row wearing red, a middle row wearing white, and then another row of red on top. And it looked just like the Austrian flag. And they were playing all kinds of crazy songs in between, like 90s old songs, like in between. And when there was a take foul for the Netherlands, and they got 2 free throws in the ball back. When the guy stepped up to the basket, the PA announcer at the Austrian arena was playing a crying baby, and it was really annoying sounding. It was like, It was like over the loudspeaker, and that dude missed. That dude missed when he heard that shit. He did miss. It was like, I never heard such an annoying noise by an arena to try and stop somebody from making a free throw, but it worked. That crying baby sound worked. And that crowd was live. And I'm telling you, it was packed. There were so many people in there supporting the Austrian team. And that helped because Austria shot way better in this game. When they were in the Netherlands, they were cold. They couldn't make no shots. But in this game in Austria, with the home court and the good vibes and the encouragement of their fans, they were bombing threes and nailing them and shot way, way better in this game. So Austria's teammates, the teammates for Yakb stepped up and made their shots. That was a big part of the thing that happened last night too. Yesterday, I should say, yesterday afternoon. Kaz is saying, I wonder if we're going to get a call from Vinay. Yeah, that'd be fun if the telemarketers call yesterday. I got called last night, and it was a political survey. If I get a political survey, would you guys stay on the air to watch me do the political survey? That would be fun. I don't know. I'll take any calls. If you know the number and you can call my number right now, you can call me. Then you can be on the air right now. That's right. We'll see if we get any more Vinays. That's right. Mike saying, respect, Lex. Yeah, at the moment, we're like 1 million under the first apron without the bonuses, etc. Boom goes the Dynamite. Thank you. Fact check. We're going to give Mike a big, huge dunk for coming with the facts and setting people straight. People talking all this crazy mess. 36 on the dunk charts for Mike. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Y'all stop with your bullshit about trying to gaslight the Raptors fans into thinking we are not doing things right because of the cap. No, the cap doesn't matter. We shouldn't worry about the money. Let Bobby and Dan Tolzman and the front office worry about it. We'll just worry about watching the games and enjoying basketball. How about that? In fact, tonight, I asked you to come enjoy basketball with me in person at the Pan Am Center at Morningside Avenue and 401. There is a CEBL play-in game tonight. They're starting the playoffs for the Canadian Elite Basketball League, and the Scarborough Shooting Stars are trying to get in the play-in through the Montreal Alliance. And this game is at 7 o'clock tonight at the Pan Am Center at 401 in Morningside. And I have my tickets. I'm going. Adriana's going to be coming with me. And you guys can come meet us there. If you want to come to the game and watch it with Adriana and I, we'll be sitting there watching the Scarborough Shooting Stars play the Montreal Alliance tonight, 7 p.m., CEBL play-in action. It's the play-in, y'all. This is a big deal. And this is going to be a very competitive game. So if you like live basketball, if you're free tonight and you're able to get to that area at that time, 7 o'clock tonight, Pan Am Center, I'd love for you to join us and come and hang out with us and watch the game at a Raptor Freak hangout at a CBL play-in game. That's right. There you go. Boom goes the Dynamite. Troy Henry's here. Good morning to Troy Henry. Always good to see original Raptor Freak Troy Henry back in the house. Love how my boy Powell representing for Jamaica, and he's killing it too. Yeah. He's done for what he needed to do already, but they're going to have to circle around and come back and play in the AmeriCup coming up later this month. So Jamaica's got a little bit of a break right now, but then when Canada and USA and Puerto Rico and other main America's basketball juggernauts show up to play at the AmeriCup later this month, Jamaica's got their spot because Norman came down there and he helped them get in through the qualifier by winning their group, getting their group with through their group with what's the other teams that got through? Chile and Mexico and Jamaica, and I believe I don't remember the other team from the other group, but they got their spot to go further in the AmeriCup. We'll see. Jamaica is bolstered definitely by Norman Powell being on that team. Definitely. Yeah, he's awesome, man. And tomorrow he's going to be, all right, let's do this real quick. We'll do the Instagram stories real quick. We got to talk about this. AJ Lawson's basketball camp, his first ever basketball camp was a huge success. It was a dream come true for AJ. I love to see him so happy and, living his dreams, man, playing for the Raptors, having a basketball camp, doing all kinds of stuff like that is just amazing. So AJ, you're living your best life, man. I want to see you live your best life in a Raptors jersey again this season. That's right. Coming up. There's AJ Lawson's camp. Great turnout. Looks like it's he's out on his balcony and his dog's saying, good morning, world. And it looks like AJ's got a pretty high up balcony. He's living on a pretty high level on the condo there. And his dog's cute. It's squinting in the sunlight. You can't see. Brandon Ingram's got some guy rapping on a podcast on his Instagram stories. He's just going off, man. He's actually got some pretty good flow. He's got some pretty good flow. He's just going off, man. I don't know if he's freestyling. Okay, he's also posted a picture of DMX. That's kind of out of the blue and just out there. I guess he's just a fan of DMX, and you wanted to remember him right now. Slim Duck. This is what Chris Boucher's got on his Instagram right now. He's like, when you're 10 dangs, 20 yeps, 6 wows, and 8 man, that's crazy, and they still won't stop talking. Chris gets in these situations all the time, and I'm sure it's like, man, if you knew what his Instagram stories were and you're talking his ears off, you'd be like, okay, he's in that mode where he's like shutting you out, and he's just like, what are you even saying? I'm trying to be polite and I'll stand here and listen to you, but I'm not listening to you. I'm trying not to in some ways. There's Chris working in the pickup games right now, and he's at the Kerr Hall Gym. And I don't know where that is exactly, but yeah, he's putting in work, and I don't know if there's anybody that we know on the court with him. I can't really tell in this one little clip, but he is putting in work still in his offseason, Slim Duck. He's also saying that he's got a picture of the best show. I don't even know what show this is. It looks creepy as hell. Looks like some vampire guy looking in a decrepit house, but he says that's the best show. I don't know what show it is. Go to look at his Instagram. You can find out what it is. Then he's got 3 little girls dancing, and sometimes you just got to be on that Jada frequency, and that girl is just too hyper and crazy and jumping around. It's kind of crazy, yeah. And then also he's got Slim Duck Foundation work going on here, Slim Duck Academy, the kids dribbling and also getting gear and stuff like that. So good job, Slim Duck. As always, you're always a Raptor in our hearts, even if you're going to wear a Celtics jersey this year. And we love you, Chris. We love you, man. Let's see. Toronto Tempo has new merchandise that's out. And I got faked out this morning because I thought that they had released the jersey. Yeah, no shit. I was like, whoa, did the Tempo just slip the jersey past us and we didn't even realize that they released their Toronto Tempo official jersey? No, it's a weird shirt that has different colored sleeves that makes it look like a jersey. And it's just a striped collared shirt. So I was like, you totally confused me with that because from afar, it looked like a jersey they were wearing. Is that the Tempo jersey? No, it's a striped shirt, Lex. It's a striped long sleeve collared shirt. And these are new drops by the Toronto merchandise, the Toronto Tempo merchandise. Teresa Resch putting it on blast. There you go. There you go. And there's a ESPNW is the channel coming out, and I love it. That's cool. All right, let's see. Luguetz Dort is saying he's coming back to Montreal again. He's going to be there with Larry OBrien on August the 21st. So if you want to come see Luguetz bring the trophy back to Montreal once again, these guys are keeping this trophy up here in Canada a lot. SGA having it in Hamilton last weekend, and Luguetz bringing it to Toronto last night, and then he's taking it to Montreal. And like Oklahoma City's like, wait, is this Larry OBrien up in Canada now? I was like, maybe, yeah, sorry. You got 2 of your most important players are Canadian, and they want to bring that trophy up around here, up in Canada. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Maybe Larry should be in Canada more often. Darko Rajakovic going to make that happen. That's right. There you go. There's Lou with the trophy at the Mattamy Center in Toronto. I kind of love that, like, the trophy is in Toronto and getting held up around in Toronto right now. That's good energy for us. So you go on then, Lou Dort, bringing the Larry OBrien to the Global Jam last night. I love it, man. There's RJ Barrett on his Instagram stories, dapping a friend of his. I don't know. He's in practice for Team Canada. So they're putting up some hoops. And there they are coming out, and the Canadian Olympians in the house for the Global Jam. Dylan Brooks looking like the villain Dylan. And RJ walking in behind him. He's got his back. Yeah, Jamal Murray. All these guys coming in. I love to see it, man. I love to see the whole crew coming in. Nikel, Melvin Ejim. It's good stuff. Colin Murray Bowles is in South Carolina, I'm guessing, and he's at Victoria's Taco and Grill. And Miles Bird is posting it too. And he's like, oh, man, I guess that's one of their favorite places to go to. Elijah Martin has got his YouTube channel on blast, y'all. Y'all need to follow Elijah. 24 Hours with Elijah Martin is the latest drop. So if you want to get to know the Raptors' new rookie out of Florida, you go ahead and follow Elijah Martin on YouTube. He's probably wanting some subscribers, y'all. He's got less subscribers than me, so we need to help him out. Let's go. Yeah, there's some of the clip from YouTube. He's got, you want to get that insider open gym feel, the Raptors official personal accounts. He's also at a beach in Florida, I can tell, because I recognize that kind of environment, those kind of grasses, and that kind of water. He's down in Florida on the beach coast. I can see that. Let's see. JYD is posting crossover and buckets, a clutch way. Okay, JYD. There's Norman Powell's event for tomorrow. That's right. 2 more days, limited space left. Norman Powell and friends at Chubby's Jamaican Kitchen tomorrow night. at 8 p.m. So if you want to go and see Norman and celebrate Team Jamaica's entry into the America and what they just did recently, they're going to have a party here in Toronto, and Norman will be there at Chubby's Jamaican Kitchen. So go on and get your tickets. There's a limited edition merchandise drop of Jamaican Understand the Grind gear. There's going to be food, music, and vibes. And it's an intimate celebration of culture, community, and the grind. That's right. They're going to be celebrating the grind. If Norman Powell's there, you know it. So yeah, Chubby's Jamaican Kitchen tomorrow, 8 p.m. Go and see Norman Powell and friends. That's right. Raptors official at men's put on blast the beginning of the Portland game, the other where Scotty lofted the ball over to Yakb in the corner, and Yakb nailed the three. And he said, "Yeah, coach drew up a play for me to take a three at the beginning of the game, and I just hit it." Of course, they just barely hit it. Raptors at men has got their who's always late, and Ulrich Shamshay is so upset because some people are trying to say Shamshay is the one who's late, but no, they know it's J-Mo's late. And they were even talking about the Leafs game that they went to in the playoffs, where they all went, and a bunch of them showed up for the beginning of the game, but Jonathan showed up in the third period. And he tried to say, too, he said, "You know what? What was the score in the third period?" "Yeah, so why does it matter if I came in the third period?" I'm with you, Jonathan. I'm with you, man. In some ways, you kind of shaded hockey just there. Like just on the down low, you shading hockey, which is kind of funny. There's the group play schedule for the Raptors in the in-season tournament, and I have some opinions about it. They're spread out the in-season tournament over 2 months instead of just 1 month. They've been trying to cram it into 1 month, but the in-season tournament is going to start within the first 2 weeks of the season. And the first in-season tournament game for the Raptors is on Halloween against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. So our hardest in-season tournament game is the first one right off the bat. And it's on the road, too, on a Halloween night. So, yeah, then we don't play again for another week. The next Friday, we play the Hawks in Atlanta, which is another tough matchup because it's one of the better teams in our group away. And then we don't play for, 2 weeks in the in-season tournament. We get 2 weeks off from in-season tournament action, and we play the Washington Wizards in Toronto on the 21st of November on a Friday. So 3 of these games are on Friday nights. And then the last in-season tournament game is November 26th, 5 days after the game against Washington, against the Pacers and Siakam in Toronto on a Wednesday. So that's our in-season tournament schedule, and they spread it all out. It's very interesting. And I'm trying to look at the other teams' in-season schedules, and I'm trying to suss out if they gave any weird advantages to people and shit like that. But I think it's weird that we have 2 games at the beginning of it, a big, huge 2-week period empty, and then 2 games near the end, just filled in at the end. I'm always suspicious of the NBA schedule makers. I really am. The schedule, of course, is coming out today, but we won't cover it until Sunday. The Sunday special report, Raptors 2025-2026 NBA schedule, broken down by the Raptor Street and the way I look at it. I can't do it today. If they came out with it right now and you guys were telling me, "Oh, the schedule's out," I'm not going to look at it right now. I won't look at it and take some time to really dissect it so that I can talk to you guys about everything I see about it, and it will be on Sunday. Well, I'll give you my Sunday report on the schedule. So I need a couple days to do this. Yeah. Let's keep going in the chat. Let's keep going, man. Yeah, I love the Jamaican success. Troy Henry is fantastic. It's been a joy to watch Norman play with his Jamaican team. It's been very, very fun, man. Yeah, you wish the Scotty and the Thompson twins could have made it too. Yeah, I've talked about Scotty in regards to Team Jamaica. He does not need to play for Team Jamaica. I think that would be a bad move. To me, Team Jamaica is not very good, and they could have the potential of ruining or hurting Scott's career. Not ruining, but hurting his career. If he's older and he's further in his career, like Norman, like a 10-year pro or more, and he hasn't played on Team USA by then, I'd say, yeah, go ahead and play for Jamaica then. But he's so young. He has the ability to make it to Team USA. And if he tries and throws his hat in with Team Jamaica, it's going to screw up his chances to be on Team USA. So I highly recommend Scotty does not try to play for Jamaica. But if he never gets on Team USA like Norman, then he could go play for Jamaica later in his career. That's what I think is the logical thing. Now, the Thompsons are already committed, and they will be coming to play for Jamaica. The problem with the Thompsons not playing in this is because they didn't have their passports ready, and they were not legally ready to play. But they've got time to come around and play in the next thing. So Jamaica's trying to fast-track passports for Amin Asur so that they can legally play for them. That's the only reason why they didn't play. That's the only reason why. They would have showed up and played for them in these games, but the passports didn't come through fast enough. That's right. Mike saying, I believe Infamous's issue with the players getting less narrative. They don't understand what was happening under the old CBA. Like 2 or 3 teams overspend and the rest don't have a chance and don't pay. I don't know what he's going to say, honestly. If you watch the Sunday report, I have some very strong views that the parity is good for the league because teams have to work harder to win. If it's more equal, the teams actually have to bust their ass and put all their energy into trying to win the right way. And that's really trying. The NBA got a bad label of being lazy in the era of LeBron. And well, how do you fix that? You try hard. You try hard. Just like Rick Carlisle saying that you play hard league is what we're in now. You have to play hard to win. You can't just have a very talented top 3 and coast on their amazing talents. No, you have to be the hardest working, play hard team to win now. And this finals this year was evidence of it. Finals, it was evidence of it. And Mike's saying, why pay any money if it doesn't matter? Now a lot of teams believe they can compete and have more money signed. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it all susses out and works more and more as time goes on with the CBA and the salary caps and the aprons and the parity. And I like it so far. I think that everybody in the league feels like their team could be competitive and possibly win a Larry O'Brien. That's good for the league. If you have like 2 or 3 teams that are obvious favorites and nobody else really has a real chance, that's not good for the league. And that's what the league was in the 2010s, honestly. That's what it was. Yeah, let's see. More players are getting money that are worth it. There you go. Okay. And the NBA Players Association set higher floors and let their 2 or 3 teams be not as good. Okay. Mike's saying it was a great deal for the health of the league, and Larry Tannenbaum understood from a non-spotlighted market here. I think that it's been a great, successful thing. I think the NBA has been moving in the right direction in recent years. And I feel like that they've done a lot to address some of the concerns about the quality of play and the product of the NBA. And it's getting better. I feel like it is getting a lot better. Yeah. Dan's saying there's a fantastic video on Wrestling with Gaming YouTube channel about the making of NBA Jam. It's called The Story Behind NBA Jam, a 90s gaming masterpiece. That sounds like a cool channel, Wrestling with Gaming. You know, that makes me think of whatchamacallit, the one guy that does Wrestling with Regret. There's some other people that like to do video game reviews for wrestling, and Wrestling Bios does a lot of video game stuff too. I might have to check that out. The history of NBA Jam. It's a great game, and that had all kinds of weirds of codes in the video game. I'm sure that they tell you about them in this content. Thank you, Dan Rowe, for the information. I'll have to check that out. Wrestling with Gaming. Okay, I'm gonna find that. Mike's saying NBA Jam. He's on fire. That's right. Great game. Fantastic game. That was arcades were fun back in the day. Y'all miss arcade? Seriously, the arcade is something that just don't exist anymore. No, it doesn't. It'd be kind of cool to see an old school arcade somewhere. Maybe they have some arcade games at some movie theaters and some other places, but not as prevalent as they used to be. Not as prevalent. There was a place on Young Street down near Sam the Record Man and all the record stores down there. That was a big arcade right there, right on the heart of Young Street. That was a very famous arcade, that one down there. I don't even remember what it's called, though. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas, the dunk champion of our channel. I'm trying to understand why the Toronto Raptors mascot has never won Mascot of the Year. I'm hoping the Raptors earn a top 5 spot in the East, but more importantly, the mascot needs to win Mascot of the fucking year. Wait a second, man. Wait a second. I think the Raptor has won Mascot of the Year at some point. I don't know if you're exactly right. He's gotten very good marks as one of the top mascots in the league many times. I don't know. Is this actually an award? I don't hear this award ever. Man, let's go look at this. Let's go look this up real quick. I'm going to look this up myself because I want to find out. NBA Mascot of the Year. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Seriously. They just have a list of mascots. Okay, last year's Mascot of the Year, according to this, was the Gorilla from Phoenix. I mean, they got rankings for them, but did they actually give out the Mascot of the Year? That's crazy. All right, hang on. We got a call on the phone. Let's get ahead, get this call here, y'all. Caller, you're on the Thursday Think Tank call-in show. Hello, how are you today, sir?
He's on fire. What's up, Black?
It's Logical Raptors Fanatic, y'all. Mike's actually called in person. So, Mike, what would you like to talk about today? Would you like to talk about more of the Capology stuff or anything in particular?
Yeah. Like, I think I've been surveying the league and been hearing people's takes on our team and stuff. And I think I have keyed in on the points of contention, if you would want to hear them.
Sure.
And me dispute them, obviously,
Okay.
right?
So, point of contention. Mike, the Raptors are in trouble with their salary cap. We have to trade RJ Barrett by the trade deadline.
That's BS. We're in no pressure to actually trade anyone at the moment. We could get a little room by maybe doing a Baji trade, but at the same time, he's an asset. Where are you going to get the same production for the same amount of money, right? Like that's what these people aren't thinking. Like, yeah, we can unload this salary, but where are you getting that same production from, right? In a sense of, like, managing your money and what you have now.
Now, Mike,
what's bought in.
Mike, in particular with Abaji and possibly Dick, both of them are going to need extensions done in the next year or so. Now, do you think that it's smart to go past the rookie contract with Abaji on the rates that he will be on? For what will it depend on how well he does this year?
I think maybe Bobby does him with a 2-year, like a little bit of a pay raise, like maybe like 8 to 10 million for 2 years, like per, you know what I mean, 10 or 8 per year, right?
Yeah.
But that might be in the range of where he gets it if he proves to be a piece that, like, hey, we can't let this guy go. We need to retain him. Grady Dick and Jakob Poeltl both expect to have a lot more minutes this year because of their shooting and their spacing ability, and that's the kind of need that's surrounding the team a little bit. And I think that's where another point of contention comes from. The fit. People see the fit. They don't like really see how it's gonna work with every piece. They don't see Poeltl as like a playmaking kind of center that really finishes plays, that can set screens, get shooters open, do a lot of different things other than just score the ball, right? They see scoring the ball, they see rebounds and blocks and all this stuff, but the other intangibles of winning basketball, I think Poeltl really represents that. And he's not flashy, but he's efficient in everything he does.
He's steady.
Like the way John Stockton was, right? Like he's not a flashy guard, but he's going to make the right pass. He's going to make the right play. He's going to do the right thing, right?
So Mike, the Raptors are not under any duress in any kind of way with their salary cap is your main point.
Not at this current moment. Those extensions, I think, can hold off.
Yeah.
Like, Poeltl's contract really gave us the breathing room to really just see how this team does for like a year or two at least.
So you see a situation of flexibility, right? You see a situation of flexibility still.
Oh, yeah, of course. Only 2 of the starting people are signed for a couple years. So, like, that's the thing. We can switch out Ingram. We can switch out Barnes. The only people we are truly committed to is quickly Barnes and Poeltl. Sorry, I think I said we could switch out Barnes. No, I meant Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, anything else you want to add? Because I want to keep moving through the show, and I appreciate you calling.
No, it's like people don't understand. Like when Quickly's at his best, we're going to be paying him a lower amount than he would have signed for in that year, right?
Yeah.
Because we locked him in at a flat rate.
Yeah.
For 5 years. So we're paying him a little bit more in the front end.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the back end, it's a lot more of a deal.
The
Right?
thing I would say to
And
people about Maxey is this. I mean, Quickly is Maxey. It's like, let's see how much Maxey's making right now. And if Quickly starts getting closer to Maxey level of stuff, then like compare how much they're getting paid. And then we'll say, oh, is Quickly overpaid? Come on now.
No, it's been the freak injuries, man. Like last year was a freak year for him.
Yeah, he had like 4 different injuries at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he's been healthy most of his career, right? Like this isn't like something like where he's damaged good.
He said that last year was the most injured year he's ever had in any level of his basketball career. Is the most injured he's ever been last year. Mike, I'm going to wrap this up, but I want to talk to you after the show. I'm going to call you after the show because I have a project I want to do with you, and I want to hear what you want to say.
Yeah. But no worries on the Quickly thing is what I was trying to say,
That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to let you get back to the chat and everything and let everyone have their word.
I have a big idea that I want to involve with you, man, and I want to talk to you about it today. I was going to call you yesterday, actually, but now that you've called in the show today, I'm going to call you after the show today. So expect me to call around 11:30. Okay?
All right, yeah.
All right, Mike. Thanks for calling in, man. And once again, Project Truth always, right?
No doubt.
That's right. Keep setting them straight, Mike. I appreciate the work you do, man, because honestly, there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, bullshit artists around Raptors Nation with their takes and what they're saying and stuff like that. Mike needs to come through and cut with the knife of truth and cut through it all, the bullshit, and tell everybody this is the truth, guys. Our cap is fine. Bobby's flexible. And we got guys on good rates. Considering the TV deals are going to make everything blow up even more, and we're locking them down for years to come. Now, a little early.
Yeah, exactly. We're locking them down at a fixed rate that we're able to like add more talent later. Right?
Yep. That's right. And it could be that Abaji is a good flip to get some draft picks and a younger player that's getting paid a lot less. And that's how you refresh your team, stuff like that.
They're actually like the writers are setting us up to like a Barrett plus Abaji to get a better piece, like an all-star.
A consolidation piece.
Yeah, like we push in a little bit more.
Yeah.
If we're in the running.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Some people understand, right?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what Bobby decides. I'm gonna trust in Bobby, and I just like the fact that there's nothing wrong, Raptors fans. Stop freaking out. Let's just watch our team and see them be successful this year, and hopefully get back in the playoffs. That's what I say right there.
Yeah, we have a lot of good players.
Yeah. All right, Mike. I'm gonna let you go, my guy, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up on after the show. I got to talk to you. I got a project I want to do. All right. All right, Mike. I'll catch up with you in just a little while, about an hour from now. All right, my guy. All right, thanks, Mike. Awesome, man. Logical Raptors fanatic setting people straight. There's a lot of confusing Raptors content out there with people just writing crazy articles on Raptors Rapture, idiots talking about things on their YouTube channels, just all kinds of stupid shit out there. And in some ways, we got wade through the bullshit to understand what's the truth. It's just the way it is in this world today. Social media and everything online has just added a whole lot of extraneous noise that often is just completely fucking wrong. And that's it right there. Yeah, boom goes the Dynamite. Yeah, if he doesn't, I'm applying next year. You should be mascot of the year. Seriously, Kareem, you should. Randolph's here. Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Blessings. Your whole life is ahead of you to be lived. Use what you've learned from the past to perfect your future. Experience is life's best teacher. Boom goes a Dynamite. I love this, man. I love this. If you're not totally successful, but you got a lesson and you learn, and hopefully the next time you attempt what you're trying to do, you'll be more successful. You'd be an idiot to not take in the information from failure and try and improve yourself the next scenario the next time, because you just make the same damn mistake over and over again. So that's no good. I love you, Randolph. Blessings to Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. There you go. Yeah. Do you have a chance? Kareem, you have a chance to win mascot of the year. I know Kareem was a mascot at some point. I think in high school or something, like he wore a mascot costume for a little while. And it's like, you got to dust it off, man. I don't know where you get bona fide, though, to get attention so you can be in the running. I don't know. Maybe you got to do some crazy thing and publicity stunt. And all of a sudden, they say, hey, there's some weird mascot guy out of Mississauga. He wants to be mascot of the year for the NBA. What team is he on? He's not on a team. He's just out there on the street corner at Denny's. He's trying to get people to vote for him for some reason. I don't know what's going on out there. That'd be weird, man. That'd be a weird situation. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Missed the game with Yakb. Thought it was earlier in the evening. Yakb is my favorite Raptor currently. Yeah, Wayne, I would have loved to be in there with you and Isaac talking about the game. We've had a lot of fun watching Jamaica. But, yeah, the game was at 1, and it was a weird time in the middle of the day. 1 to 3 is a weird time on a Wednesday in the middle of the day. But I'll say this, the Vienna crowd or the Austrian crowd came out in full effect, standing room only at that game, Wayne. And that house was rocking for the Austrian team and cheering them on to victory. They really were there in full support for Austria and Yakb. Man, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. Let's see. Troy Henry saying, Lex, I DM'd you last week as I was coming to the city for a Linkin Park concert. And on that same day, we landed. The weekend was doing a show. So I was asking you if I can get cheap tickets to the gate. Where did you DM me, Troy Henry? Because I didn't see that message at all. I'm wondering how did you message me? Through email or was it on Facebook? Did you message me on Facebook? Because I don't have no Facebook messages. So I'm curious because I don't know. Let me see if there's some sort of weird tab. I don't know. This is weird, man. I did not get the message, Troy. If I saw it, I would have definitely messaged you back and let you know. I could have probably helped you get weekend tickets. Yeah, I could have helped you probably do that. All right, here's just the general rule for everybody. If you're in Toronto and you want to go to something at Scotiabank Arena or the Rogers Center, you go see Bobby. Yeah, Bobby. And I'll tell you where Bobby is. Bobby is always on the sidewalk in front of the ticket office at Rogers Center. And there was a time where I was downtown Toronto, and it was the Joshua Tree anniversary tour, U2. This is like 8 years ago. And my parents and I were downtown, and on a whim, we're like, oh, U2's playing at the Rogers Center. So we went down, and Bobby was outside the ticket center, and he hooked me up because he knows me. I've known him from working at the Air Canada Center, Scotiabank Arena. And he's been my guy, my scalper. He's the best. And if you get to know him and you get a relationship with him, he'll actually give you crazy deals. And often he'll sell me his own personal tickets. So Bobby's the guy. Yeah, Bobby, he's good. There's another guy down there with a ponytail that's really good too, Marco. Marco's my other guy. If you see Marco with the hair, he's been doing this for like 40 years, guys. Scalping outside Maple Leaf Gardens and then Scotiabank Arena and Rogers Center. These guys are great. If you need tickets and they're sold out, and I know they're scalpers, but they are nice guys and they will haggle with you. They will try and get you a fair deal. But go find Bobby and his son at the Rogers Center. If you want to find them at Scotiabank for Raptors games, they're over by the columns, sculptures usually in that general area. And they may be very openly saying tickets for sale. Yeah. And say, hey, are you Bobby? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm Bobby. And be like, okay, yeah, Lex sent me. Raptor Streak sent me. So, yeah, that's the general rule, Troy Henry. If you're going to come to Toronto and you're going to be at Rogers Center, you want tickets, Bobby is outside the ticket place, and he will sell you tickets. He's a good guy. He's really good. James is saying, Lex, do you see OKC repeating? I don't. It's so hard to do. They have to have the same luck with injuries. They have to have the same luck with all kinds of different things. Some things, the NBA on the down low may try and hurt them from repeating in certain ways. I don't know. I don't see it. I think that this trend of a new champion every year is going to happen because the routes to get to the championship will be different every year. And some teams are just not going to have the same things happen. And in some ways, as much as the Oklahoma City Thunder are bringing back most of their roster from last year, which is they're so lucky to be able to do that. It still doesn't mean that they're going to have the ability to get all the way there. They have a good chance. I think they're one of the favorites. But I think that this league, as of parity, is not going to allow this repeat to happen. And there's going to be another champion, and it's going to be a totally new one, too. Again, it's going to be a totally new one again. I can see it. Mike's saying OKC went to 2 game 7s. It's about matchups. There you go. That's true. That's true right there. Isaac's here saying, Kareem, you should get a goat for your weeds. Goats, no goats. Goats, no goats. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like that yard's very big, Isaac, at Kareem Thomas's place, as far as like having a goat out there. That may take up pretty much the whole space out there. But he would do a good job of eating your grass and doing things. But I don't think the problem is with the grass right now. He wants the grass to grow, not to get mowed. And that's what that goat would do. I want to see more goats in public parks in Toronto, eating the grass and doing it that way. Less herbicides and chemicals and stuff. Use a natural remedy, and that's a goat. Get a goat out there to mow that grass. Come on now. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying Scotty should play for Jamaica. Join in with Norman to help build and establish their program. Not only he will be a pillar on Jamaica for his efforts, it's also the Raptor thing to do. I'm just saying he knows that it will screw up his chances to make Team USA. And his dream is to play for Team USA. And I don't think he wants anything to get in the way of that or possibly make it harder for him to make Team USA. So I just don't see it, guys. When I asked Lloyd, I said, Lloyd, do you think Scotty will play for Jamaica? He stone cold silence. He wouldn't say nothing to me. And Scotty has not made any overtures or any kind of signs that he is interested in playing for Jamaica, other than the fans have made the connection that he's Jamaican and that he could play for Jamaica if he wanted to. But I don't think he wants to. The Thompsons have committed. The Thompsons have said, yeah, we'll come play for Jamaica. Norman has done it, and he's come and done it. But Scotty has never, ever once said he would like to come play for Jamaica. And so don't hold your breath. I don't think it's happening. Dan Rosario is saying there's an arcade bar in Toronto called Tilt. That's right. There's one on Dundas, too, not far from Bathurst. It's like a bar where you can go in, and there's a bunch of video games in there, and it's like a bar. I forget what that one was called. But yeah, there's a couple of these downtown. They're like fun. They're bars for adults. They're not for kids, but they have the retro video games inside of them, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's on Queen Street. Yeah, the one I know is on Dundas, just west of Bathurst, on the south side of the street. Yeah, I went to their old location back in 18, and it was a fun experience. Yeah, it's man, the old arcade feeling, man. If you're from my generation, the feeling of what Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and all that stuff in the early 80s, and going to like pizza joints, and they had like Asteroids and Galaga and Space, that kind of stuff. Oh man, that's the best, man. The old arcade days are awesome. Those are good memories right there. Kaloy saying, morning, Lex from Raptor Freak Family. Good morning to you, Kaloy, and good morning to Santino. Good to see you, sir. Mike saying, people see Ingram, Poeltl, and RJ as non-passers, etc. Wait till they see. Yeah, that's totally crazy. I mean, Poeltl's one of the best passing centers in the league. In fact, he had some amazing passes yesterday to his lesser talented Austrian teammates that they couldn't screw up. Like, he was passing better than the guards in that game. He's throwing like over the court passes over defenders and nailing other people on the other side for threes. You know, in some ways that he is a really good passer. And Brandon has always been a good passer. It's like, sure, he's a great scorer and that overshadows his passing skills. But Brandon is career-wise, he's averaged like 5 assists a game. So it's not like Brandon doesn't pass the ball. He does. And he's going to be very excited about passing the ball with people like Scotty and RJ next to him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's stupid, man. RJ's gotten way better at passing, too. RJ's really, really expanded his game since he left New York. And New York people hate that. That's why they cause so much bullshit for RJ still. They hate that RJ is better on Toronto than New York. And then they come with all kinds of animosity and hate and all kinds of bullshit. Why couldn't he do this for us? Why didn't he shoot better for us? Why didn't he play defense for us? It's like Knicks Nation's all, I got question marks and stuff like that. Well, my questions are, why wasn't OG getting any attention or respect or credit on Toronto? And now all of a sudden he is in New York. That's my version of what I'm saying. You guys can go ahead and say, well, why didn't RJ shoot better and play defense in New York? Well, these are different things. Seriously. Yeah, why didn't OG get any credit when he was on Toronto? Now all of a sudden he gets all the credit in the world in New York. Right there. Mike's saying the ball movement will be elite. I believe this too. I watched a Locked On thing. It was the fantasy guy, a lot of the same BS, but Sean Woodley stated a great stat. We had the 5th best shot quality, but we didn't have the finishing to do it. Add in more quickly and Ingram finishing, laugh out loud. I had NBA Jam on Sega. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways. Once again, stats can be manipulated to show different things, what people want. People can look at stats and just want to interpret them in certain ways, especially if they're haters. And I was like, oh, this RJ stat says this and all this kind of stuff. Well, my eye test and seeing what RJ does in the court tells me something different than some of the narratives people are trying to put out by RJ Barrett. Yeah, I see something different on the court. When I actually watch RJ, you guys go ahead and tell me he's a bad finisher. You go ahead and tell me he's not a good passer. I see something different on the court than what y'all are saying. That's right. That's right. So we say, yep, OG was an afterthought in Toronto. Yeah, OG gets all the press in the world in New York, and he didn't get he didn't even bother to know how to say his name correctly. And now, the opposite thing is here. RJ is playing better for us than New York, and they hate that. Is what I'm saying. That's just the damn truth. It's true. It's true. He's playing way better in Toronto than he did in New York, and they can't stand that, guys. You got to understand that. Speaking of New York, there's a really interesting article that came out yesterday on James Dolan and how he is banning people from Madison Square Garden using facial recognition technology. It's interesting because it tells you the depth of what he's doing and just how fucked up and petty he is that there's thousands of people that are banned from MSG, the Sphere, and all of James Dolan's own properties because they're all lawyers that have sued him or have been representing clients that have sued him. And it's crazy. Like the firm Morgan & Morgan, which is one of the biggest law firms in the United States, the guy Morgan is like, I don't care about going to any Dolan-owned properties. I've seen Billy Joel a bunch of times already, and I don't need to see him again. And screw James Dolan. And in fact, Morgan & Morgan has a hotline for people that want to sue James Dolan. Call us. We'll represent you. Is there very much like, we don't give a fuck if you ban us from the Sphere or from Madison Square Garden. But this has been a really weird thing that has been happening because people be in line at an event at Madison Square Garden, and the security will come up to them and say, you come with us. And they're like, what? And then be like events for kids. Like their kids, they're going to have a kid party at the Madison Square Garden, and the parents getting dragged off and said, you can't go in with your kid because you're a lawyer that's suing James Dolan, and you're not allowed to come into our building. So it's really crazy. They use facial recognition technology, which basically scans all of the crowd and tries to match pictures of other people with other people. There's been mistakes. There's been all kinds of stupid stuff. James Dolan is such a weird guy, man. But this article is on ESPN right now if you want to read it and learn more about how stupid the owner of the New York Knicks is. Yeah, that's right. That's it right there. Let's see. G saying Global Jam was full of our Canadian stars. It's fantastic. As advertised, too bad the Canadian men's team couldn't win, but wow, did the Canadian women's team win? Wow, boy, did they win it for they won in a half. They really did, man. It's crazy. Mike saying, laugh out loud. They said Masai valued his players too much. OG Eastern Conference, Siakam, 2 Eastern Conference finals and 1 finals, and Fred VanVleet helped the Rockets go from basement to contenders. Well, this is a knock on all of us. They've always said, and this is all right. This is where it's like, all right, where's reality? Okay, sure. There's Lex on one end of the spectrum with the Raptors freaks, very over, like looking at the Raptors and thinking they're good. But in some ways, I'm trying to be fair. I mean, I didn't cut any slack from Malachi Flynn, did I? No. But I'm trying to be fair on how I adjust this. Now, the thing is, the people, a general NBA fan, are getting trained by the NBA to disrespect us. And then when they hear us talk about our players in a glowing way or a positive way, they think we're crazy because we like our players. Oh, Raptors fans overvalue their players all the time. They're always overvaluing them. Well, I think most fan nations overvalue their players in all fan nations to a degree. And they're somewhere in the middle. But we've got to understand the factor with the Raptors in particular, out of all the 30 teams, general NBA fan, is that you're conditioned to look down on us and to look down on what we're doing and not think that it's very good. We can acquire a player like Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, and y'all will immediately downgrade them, even though all they did was switch teams. And actually, both of them have upgraded their games since they came here from New York. But because they came here, y'all give them a discount already. And it's like, look, if Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett had got traded from New York to the Bulls, you guys wouldn't be doing this to them. You would be fairly accurately putting them on blast and saying, like, this is a great young player. He's coming up. He's young still. He has a lot of room to grow. This is a great contract. You would treat it totally differently. It's because they got traded back to Toronto. And RJ being on Toronto and Emmanuel being on Toronto, you guys want to slight them now in different ways. So it's like the perception is not fair from the basis of the baseline that the U.S. media makes about the Raptors. You all already are selling us and putting us down more than we deserve there. Now, are we over for them? Yeah, maybe just a little bit. But there's somewhere the reality is in between the two. And it's more likely the Raptors are better than the NBA media is telling you. And we're more correct than you guys. That's what it is right there. And that's why there's a general misconception that Raptors fans overvalue their players. No, we're giving their just due while the rest of y'all are undervaluing them. And that's the truth. That's the truth right there. That's the truth right there. Winning matters. That's right. And this is evidence with the class that is Mike is talking about. Siakam, Van Vliet, Powell, OG, all those guys. They're extremely successful where they are past our championship. You're going to tell me we were overvaluing them in 2019? Look at where they are now. Tell me that we were overvaluing them. And not only that, all of them have had staying power and have been consistently good for the most part since our championship. Even when they were on our team, they were good, in my opinion. That's right. So we're saying Malik Beasley getting more ugly. He's alleged to not have been paying rent. What the fuck is going on with him? Yeah, he got kicked out of his house. It seems like he was into some real fuckery. I don't know. I'm not investigated his case. In some ways, I'm not really wanting to know about his case because in some ways, I don't want to keep up on all this kind of stuff. You know, the thing I will talk about is what Michael Porter Jr. was saying recently, which is crazy. His brother's Jonte. In some ways, I like what he's saying. He's calling out the NBA on the gambling and saying this is going to get worse and worse because this is just a really bad idea. And he laid it out very plainly. It's like, what is it? Why do you not understand that an NBA player can get in cahoots with like 10 of their friends and they can totally do what Jonte did and try and enrich people, and people aren't going to try and do that again? Because seriously, it's a racket. It's a racket what Jonte figured out. And in some ways, there's no reason why somebody won't try and do what he did and do it in a more subversive way where it's hidden better and get away with it. This may actually already be happening right now under their noses, and they don't even detect it yet. So it's just like the gambling's horrible. First of all, and I like what Michael Porter was saying. He said, first of all, it should be all in person and not online. And if you're going to gamble, you should be in Vegas if you want to do sports betting. That's what he's saying he thinks should happen. And I think he's right. I think that the gambling just opens up for all kinds of messed up stuff. In some ways, it puts more pressure on the players than ever because they may have friends that want to do a racket. And they're like, oh, all you have to do is just throw your one game, and we'll be so rich. Us. Don't you want to help your friends? There's going to be pressure like that. And then Michael Porter Jr. also talking about how this has absolutely been horrible for the players, the gambling. And he's not just speaking from the perspective of his brother being in trouble federally. It's about like the death threats. It's about the things like people are saying to them if they don't get their numbers. And that's going to happen either way. They could be successful, have a great game, but they don't hit exact numbers for parlays and stuff like that. And fans are crazy. And Michael Porter Jr. is basically saying, what is it going to take that a crazy fan gets so mad and crazy because of economics that they lost money and they attack a player at some point in a sad, horrible event happens. You know, that's the thing. Adam Silver, you're not being responsible. You're not protecting your players. And in some ways, this is a really bad idea, how openly sports gambling is with the NBA at this point. It's really dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. And you know what? Is it going to take an NBA player getting murdered by a fan for you to understand just how fucked up the gambling around the NBA is right now? Because it might get to that point, and then all of a sudden, it's like I'll be saying this was a tragedy that could have been avoided. It's just greedy ass people in the sports gambling industry wanted to fucking open up business. Well, now there's a young man's life that has been taken because of that. That could happen. I could see this shit happening. You know, there's crazy ass people shooting up the CDC and fucking killing a cop. You know, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on around the world right now. Yeah. So all kinds of crazy shit. And in some ways, the economics of the world are getting tougher, and you're just moving this towards a very bad scenario that could happen. Adam Silver. That's what I feel like right now. That's right. Kaloy saying even that American fan in Reddit is starting to figure out that the Raptors are the most disrespected team. Yeah, you saw that post. Let's go to Reddit since was brought up just now. Somebody's got an Emmanuel Quickley discussion. Let's see what they said. I didn't read this before. Let's just see what he's saying. While watching Emmanuel Quickley play as a Raptor, I've noticed his tendency to pick up his dribble way earlier than most point guards. He often will come off screens at the perimeter, use a DHO, or play the pick and roll, where most guards use their dribble to misdirect, probe, and create advantages against the defense. Quick, more often than not, will kill his dribble and begin pivoting, looking to pass it out to a teammate because he's stuck. This is extremely problematic for our offense, which already severely lacks on-ball creation. 30th in the league, in fact. I would get some tape, but I don't know how to clip NBA footage. Has anyone else noticed this? I feel fairly strongly that he is developing a strong handle and creating dribble penetration would be monstrously beneficial to our team offense. Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is valid what he's saying, but I think that he's misallowing the potential of what he just said at the end. You're saying that he needs to have that. Well, I've seen him have that stuff before. He has the handles and the ability to penetrate into the basket and try and drive to the basket. It's just that the way that he works, and this is why he stops like he does, is he's a stop start. He's a change of speeds guard that tricks people by going fast all of a sudden. So often when he's picking up his dribble, it's partly because he's assessing whether he could just burst by them by faking that he stopped. That's a big one of his moves. And when he does that, often he bursts right by them with the first step, and he does get in the lane and try to get a layup. In some ways, Emmanuel's strength is outside shooting. It's not really dribble penetrate. But don't get it twisted. The man can do that if he needs to. Trust me. That's the way I see it. There's a little thing posted on Raptors Reddit that has the percentage of playoff minutes brought back from previous season's title run. And guess which team has the lowest percentage? Yes, our team. In 2019, 2020, Toronto Raptors only were able to keep 70% of their playoff minutes. Kawhi Leonard leaving, of course, Danny Green leaving. And, that's the lowest stat. The Lakers the next year were the next lowest, 71.2% of their playoff minutes were retained. Now, this stat is saying that Oklahoma City is retaining 99.2% of their playoff minutes for this year. That's a good beacon that they'll have continuity for next year to try and repeat. But yeah, listen, Boston had 98% of their team return, and they didn't repeat. So I'm just saying that's not a for sure thing right there. But it's sad. You see the stats on this, and you really understand just how much Kawhi left really didn't give us a proper chance to try and repeat. In some ways, I feel like we could have. We really, really could have. Siakam's just crazy with his vibes right now, singing. He seems so happy. I love it. All right, there's a Raptors Reddit reaction talking about a couple things written on Reddit this morning. That's right. That's right. There's the Reddit right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Mike's saying the bottom line is that most media places don't get paid by Canadian content, so they don't look deeper than the general take. They're paid more by us ad people for reporting on the 29 U.S. teams. Yeah, but that's still stupid, man. Because honestly, if you're an expert on the NBA, you should have an expertise in all 30 teams. Even if you're not getting paid by Canadian entities, the Canadian team is a part of the league. And if you're going to have a hole in your knowledge just because they're Canadian, and that's stupid. You know what? Go above and beyond. Be the better one. That's the whole way of being better in your field, right? Go above and beyond and cover all 30 teams correctly and understand who all 30 teams are. You might be the best in your field then. Seriously. I mean, this is an excuse. It's laziness. And even if they're not paying you to cover the Raptors, you should cover them anyway and show that you're going above and beyond. That's the way I look at it right there. Yeah, Mike's saying it sucks, but the global market doesn't care about us and non-U.S., which Adam Silver spoke on. That's not true. The global market does care about us. The global market cares about us more than a lot of the other NBA teams. The Raptors are extremely popular in the global market. They're extremely popular in the Canadian market. They're just not as popular in the U.S. market, but they are popular in the U.S. market. We do have a lot of Raptors fans all over the U.S. country and that are very diehard for our team, and we see them at our games on the road. So I don't know. That's not totally accurate to say that we don't have a following or a market. We do. We definitely do. It's just that the media market wants to shun us, and part of it's the perception of propaganda and trying to make us lesser as a team in the league. Well, we're not like that. We got the quality and the respect we learned through the Masai Ujiri era. And in some ways, the post-Masai era is going to still try and continue with that quality and respect as much as we can. That's right. That's right. Mike's saying, or no, Reggie's saying, gambling is a real problem in baseball. 2 pitchers with Cleveland have been suspended for alleged gambling. Yeah, this is going to be an issue all kinds of places. It's not just pertaining to the NBA, but I could see the NBA being the forefront of the spear that gets the problem in the end, because in some ways the players are less and they may be more individualized and they may be more accessible in certain ways where something messed up could happen. I don't want any tragedy to happen. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I could see a scenario where this kind of shit could happen. We've already had fans approach Bradley Beal at an Orlando game, talking to him and kind of coming up to him about gambling and bets on him and him not doing stuff. And Bradley saying some things back to the fan and a little bit back and forth. Yeah, we want these kind of incidents to escalate to even worse scenarios and outcomes. Let's just put it that way. That's what I say right there. One of which was a top reliever in baseball. If the allegations are true, it's a lifetime ban, and rightfully so. In some ways, like I said, the pressures of being a professional athlete today have just gotten worse as far as social media and gambling. There's just way more pressures, even more on top of them. They already had a lot of pressures, being in public eye, being somebody that winning and losing is on their shoulders. They've already had all these pressures, and now they're adding all these extra pressures on them. Yeah, that's messed up, man. It's messed up. Mike's saying Michael Porter Jr. spoke out on his brother and the gambling. He spoke on things how most of their friends don't have high income, and it's easy to give that to them by sitting a game. I meant the globe. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's what Michael's point was, that what's going to stop a player who's maybe not that intelligent and thinking things through for themselves from making a dumbass move like Jonte in the future. There may be friends that are like very like trying, like, come on, man, just do it. You have all the money in the world. You're in the NBA. Help your guys out. And you don't have to do a whole lot. We'll do it real sneaky and we'll figure it all out. Seriously, this stuff is like a real problem. And it's just immoral how corporate sports gambling sites are doing this. I think it's so immoral. So immoral. Gambling on sports could be on the team level, but not on the individual level, because you're putting bullseyes on individuals when you make it, different parlays and stuff on individual players. Plus, if it's on the whole team, it's much harder to manipulate situations to try and get these kind of gambling cheats and stuff like that. If the gambling's only on team-based stats and it's not on individual stuff, this may be the midway point, that the compromise between me and the big corporations that are trying to do the sports gambling, is that stop having parlays on individuals. Seriously, that will cut out half the problems with like worrying about another Jonte Porter. And also you get a lot of bullseyes off of individual players that may be coming in the future. And let them gamble if they really want to gamble, but it has to be on spreads, and it has to be on team stats, and it can't be on individual parlays. Because I think that's the big key of it right there. That's the fix. If they really have to have gambling, you degenerates, let's make it team gambling and not on individual gambling. That's right. That's what I say right there. Mike saying, I meant the global market isn't USA focused, which Adam spoke on. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what you mean exactly still. Troy Henry say, I messaged you on Instagram, bro. All good, though. I did manage to get some for – oh, you did end up getting to that? Okay, you messaged me on Instagram? Let me go look at that then. Oh, I was still doing the Instagram stories. Chucky Hepburn's doing a meet and greet, guys, on August the 14th. That's today from 5 to 8 p.m. He'll be at the Capsule in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you're in Louisville and you want to meet Chucky Hepburn, the rookie of the Raptors, number 24, you can go on down there and meet Chucky and get a meet and greet. Yeah, Jonathan Mobo posting the who's most likely to be late. And he's saying, can we agree that I'm the middle child at this point? So Mobo's identifying as Malcolm in the middle, guys. Shamshay's got Ease Missy highlight here from the Afro-Basket games right now. Yeah, very, very cool to see the player from the Pelicans showing up and playing for his team in the Afro-Basket right now. Very, very, very cool. There's Bruno Fernando also at Afro-Basket for Angola. Love to see him in action again. There's Jamal Shed talking about who's most likely to be late. That clip's really funny. Ulrich gets so mad, man. He gets so mad. He's like, don't say I'm the late guy. Come on, that's not fair. Jack Armstrong coaching at Comedy Records game. And Savannah Hamilton taking the sights over in BC as she's coaching the Indigenous girls camp right now over there. Incredible 2 days with all the female athletes. And he's tired. Now he's resting. She's resting on the ground, but she's still over there. And she's having a great day. And then Ashley Docking's doing the Cinderella stories by herself because the Savannah's not there. She's in BC. Yeah, and a fan saw Savannah on the streets. So she took a video of her. There's the rest of your Instagram stories. All right, let me go see if it's in the messages. It might be in some sort of weird like place where I don't see messages. Hidden requests. Is that where it is maybe? No, I don't see it there. This is weird, man. Like, I don't know why it didn't come through because I don't see it, man. I do not see your message, Troy Henry. I apologize, bro. I would totally have helped you out. But, yeah, I don't see it. That's weird, man. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the right account. I'm not totally sure. Black Hog has got the squirt guns out. Okay. All right. G saying, I'm sorry, but if I'm a professional player, I would tell my friend if they asked me to screw up games for betting, they would be out of my circle. How do you screw up a job that people dream of? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it depends on whether your friend has like an influence on you, and they're a vital friend. Maybe they're a friend that you look up to as a mentor. Maybe there's somebody that was like a big brother to you, and they're misguiding you. And you could be kind of stupid, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then you do something stupid like Jonte. I don't know. I'm totally with you, G. If a friend was asking me to do that to help them make some money, I'd be like, you're out, bro. You're out because you're not looking out for me in some ways. Mike's saying, yeah, Adam Silver was asked about ratings and big markets needed in the finals. He said the global market doesn't care how big the city is or which country they're from. Oh, well, that's good. I think that once again, the finals were one of the best finals in recent years because the quality of the basketball was high, and that's what should matter. It shouldn't matter if it's LA or New York. It just matters if the basketball is high. And honestly, the Lakers aren't going to bring quality basketball like Oklahoma City Thunder are. And that's a big difference right there. That's a big difference right there. Wayne saying, don't care, but the arena story is kind of strange. Corporations can promote and make money on gambling, but individuals can't gamble among themselves at their residences. Corruption rules. That's an interesting story, and I haven't really learned all the details of the Gilbert Arenas gambling ring allegations he's in trouble for. Yeah, that does sound fishy, Wayne, that the individual can get in trouble, but corporations are allowed to do things that individuals aren't allowed to. That seems to be the case, that corporations, even though they can act like they're people and give money to elections in the United States with Citizens United, are absolved from criminality because there's no finger to point to one individual. That's one of the biggest farces of the corporation system, is that they really diffuse blame by making it a big entity that's nameless like by person. And yeah, and it's like not like CEOs get in trouble. They end up getting paid off and going away with huge golden parachutes if they are a failure. That it's not like they get in trouble or lose money. It's all the biggest crock of shit. And there's a lot of criminality in corporations right now. And I blame corporations for most of the problems in the world right now. I really do. I feel like the corporation has been abusing society and the worker class way too much, way too much for too long. And we're sick of it. We're sick of this shit. And in some ways, we're going to change it one way or another. It's going to get changed. Trust me. That's right. Mike's saying he took a rake. You can't be house and make money. Even betting systems are cool. Yeah, he took a part of the profits. He took a part of the profits. I don't know. Either way, Gilbert's a knucklehead. I know that, and maybe he shouldn't have been doing this. Y'all, if y'all want to call in to the Thursday Think Tank call-in show, the phone line is open. If you have access to the phone line, you can call in and talk to me on the air right now. Ask questions. Have your own opinions heard. Go off on whatever you want to talk about, Raptors related or basketball related. That's right. Troy's saying that Michael Porter Jr. on a podcast, the host said to him, I know what city you rather play. And he named 3. And Michael said, not really. Toronto is lit. Made me think he's not happy at Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, in some ways, I wouldn't be happy going there. I mean, he's going from playing with Joker to playing with nobody. And he's basically the man there. I mean, they traded the best player on the Nets for him, and he gets paid less than him. So it's like Jordy Fernandez has a weird team right now. And I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. is a franchise player. And that team's going to be a mess. That team's going to be at the bottom of the Atlantic Division, and they may be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference even too. I don't expect anything from Brooklyn. Brooklyn's done a hard reset, and they really are starting from the ground up. And I think that they actually backtracked in some of the moves they've done this offseason. And I don't know if they actually built off of their season last year because of some of the things that have happened. Cam Johnson coming to Denver is not good. I could see Michael Porter Jr. wanting to be in Toronto way more than wanting to be on Brooklyn right now. Oh, yeah. That sounds right to me. That does. Mike's saying that next executive is wild by saying he's going to be a scoring leader this year. Talking about Michael Porter Jr.? No, that's not going to happen. He doesn't have enough around him to make him look good. And honestly, Joker made him look good while he was there. In some ways, he's not going to look as good in Brooklyn because he doesn't play with Nikola. And also the other thing is right there is there's no way if he's the focal point of their offense that he's going to be any kind of scorer. They're going to shut him down. If they really want to if they have the double team one guy and it's Michael Porter and he has nobody else, he's not going to do jack shit because there's nobody on that team that is a kind of a threat like he is other than him. And everybody will be able to key on him, and the Nets will be totally like useless offensively. I'm telling you right there. He can't shoot or create. Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're crazy. I feel bad for Coach Jordy because in some ways, I think Sean Marks is one of the worst GMs in the league, and he's still around there. I don't understand how Sean Marks is still running the Nets. He's done such a horrible job the whole time he's been there. And I feel bad for Jordy. I like Jordy. Jordy did a good job with Team Canada recently. And even though he's not our coach anymore, I still wish him well. And I feel like, much like Steve Nash before him, this is a team that's not being run right from the front office. And that's part of the problems for the coach. That's what I feel right there. Yeah. Yeah. People like Jordy. I like Jordy too. He's a great coach. And I wish him well in the things. All right. Straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. Y'all, if there's a tariff war and Trump is an idiot and Canada's doing strong, we're doing great, guys. Let's continue this trend. Stop going to McDonald's. I drive by McDonald's and I see the drive-through all open and like full of people. And I'm yelling at people, you're traitors. Stop buying McDonald's. McDonald's is an American corporation. Y'all are feeding American corporatism by going to Starbucks and McDonald's. Just stop. Stop buying Coca-Cola products. Stop going and supporting these huge American juggernauts of corporations that are absolutely pieces of shit, honestly, right now. McDonald's is a horrible food. So anyway, today we're talking about vinegar, cleaning vinegar, Allen's. You know, Allen's has apple juice, right? Allen's apple juice, that's 100% Canadian product, and it's a great 10 out of 10 Canadian score product. But you can get cleaning vinegar from Allen's also. So yeah, Allen's is a great name brand, a great Canadian brand. You see the name Allen's, like Bad News Allen of the Stampede Wrestling, Allen, Allen's apple juice, Allen's cranberry juice, Allen's vinegar. Go and get it because it's a Canadian product, and you'll be supporting Canada and our economy and our jobs and all that kind of stuff. So Allen's, go on and buy it then because it's a great company for juice and vinegar. There you go. Boom goes the Dynamite. Yeah, he's got a decent rep in the mainstream. Talking about Jordy. Yeah, I mean, he's a hardworking coach. I thought he did a good job with Canada, considering he got thrown in that position really quickly. And, he just seems like a really smart guy, a really good young coach coming up. That's right. Yeah. Mike's saying, it's funny. I commented on a video and said, if they expect us to be so terrible, put money on Darko's Coach of the Year, laugh out loud, because we will be in the mix. Yeah, I like that. Cass saying he just sent me a request on Instagram. Okay. Yeah, my Instagram is not I'm in some ways actually thinking about like leaving Instagram soon because I'm not trying to be on Meta at all. I don't know if you guys are finding me on Instagram because I didn't get that request in some ways. You guys might be looking at the wrong account. I'm Raptor Streak on Instagram, just so you know. Well, there's a notification. There it is. Yeah, I see Kaz. All right, confirm. Kaz, you can come on in and follow me there. There you go. Boom goes the Dynamite. All right, let's keep going. Wayne saying, can we envision Raptors making a leap in the in-season tournament? Would be nice if we use it as a bench mob development, but the core might want to send a message in that tournament. All right, the first year of the in-season tournament, we won one of our in-season tournament games. Last year, we won two of them, which was fantastic, and that's a growth. So I don't know, maybe this year we could aim for winning three of our in-season tournament games this year. The Cleveland one on Halloween will be the toughest one. Atlanta will be tough in Atlanta, but it's early enough in the season. Maybe the Hawks will not have assimilated Porzingis and other people into their lineup correctly yet. So I could forecast maybe we could get that one in Atlanta. We do have a little bit of get back on them from AJ, the coach, the coach that used to coach Milwaukee when he hit that game winner. Our old coach, AJ's dad. Why can't I remember his last name right now? Our old assistant coach that was the Milwaukee coach that got fired. Anyway, his son hit that game winner against us in Atlanta a couple years ago, and we have a payback for that still. So I'd like to go to Atlanta and win the in-season tournament game there on the 7th of November, because that'll be good. If we win that one, I know we can beat Wizards at home. And we have a good record against Indiana in the last couple of years in Pascal. So we could probably win that Pascal Indiana game too. And that means we'll have won 3 of our in-season tournament games this year. And that's a winning percentage. That's 3-1. So I'd like to be 3-1. That's an improvement. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to Vegas, but it's an improvement. And maybe we do get to go to Vegas on a 3-1. So we'll have to see. That's kind of what I want. Yeah. Yeah. Mike's saying logical is 100% non-meta. Griffin, yeah, AJ Griffin. And Coach Griffin, Adrian Griffin. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on Griffin. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Roger Raymond. I'm going to give you a dunk. Thank you for supporting this channel. Also, you guys, if you're a member, you get your name in green and you get the little Raptors logo next to it. And I appreciate Roger for being a supporter of this channel. And Roger, this is going to be your first dunk for this year, man. I'm going to give you a double. You're at 6. You got the 6 and the 6, guy. You got the 6 and the 6. Mike saying the Hawks getting a lot of love like the Cavs last year. I ain't sold. I'm not either. I'm not sold on this either. I mean, seriously, you're still a team that's led by Trae Young, and that's a problem in itself right from the start. You're still a team that's franchise player is Trae Young, and that's a problem. And Kristaps Porzingis ain't all that either. Come on now. So, yeah, we'll see. You got some flashy pickups. I'll say Nickel is a huge pickup. Nickel Alexander-Walker is going to be interesting for Atlanta this year. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, sure, they got a new cast of characters. That doesn't mean the recipe tastes good. Let's just put it that way. And that stinky ass Latvian celery you put in there may not be the right one. That lanky, long ass, stanky ass celery from Latvia may not be the right ingredient. That's right. That's right. Roger's saying, thanks, Lex. Love the channel. I appreciate that, man. It's, you guys are awesome. And I appreciate the support that I get from supporters of this channel. I really do. And I'm glad that you guys find worthwhile in this and putting time into watching me. In some ways, that's why I do it. I want to be informing for you guys and letting you know what's going on and catching everything as much as I can. As much as I can. That's right. Let's see. What else do we got on my tabs? Let me see. Maybe I'm done. Lloyd's walking around somewhere. Where is Lloyd? That looks like it's down south. I'm not even totally sure. Elijah Martin's in the ring punching somebody in a boxing ring right now. That's pretty cool. He just posted that. Let's see. Birthday, guys. Happy birthday to Winnipeg Sea Bears. Jalen Harris. Is Jalen Harris, he is turning 27 today. Jalen Harris of the Winnipeg Sea Bears, former Raptors draft pick, a Raptors legend, the guy who got suspended for some illicit substance for a year. Yeah, Jalen Harris is his birthday. He's 28 today, guys. So happy birthday to Jalen Harris. Yeah. Smooth saying this stream maintains my Raptors fandom. There you go. If anything, I'm doing a good job. I'm keeping Smooth in the family. That's right. In some ways, it's like I want to encourage people to be proud and happy as a Raptor fan and be, love being a Raptors fan. Don't feel like shame. Don't get like a Cleveland Brown fan. No. We aren't like that. There's a weird thing on ESPN called the misery index. Blake Murphy was tweeting about it yesterday, and I went and checked it out. And apparently, if you're just a straight up Raptors fan, your misery index is 61. I mean, it's interesting. They're trying ESPN's always trying to quantify things with rankings and tiers and all kinds of bullshit. And they have a thing where you can go in and put in your favorite teams. It's the misery index, and it'll tell you how miserable you've been as a fan because of the teams that you root for. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sure that it's all weighted all kinds of weird ways, but I put my stuff in there, and honestly, I didn't have that bad of a misery score. In some ways with my teams, there's been some success. The Raptors getting their championship in 2019. So it's interesting. Mike's saying, but for real, the high paid BS is nonsense. Using your cap to hold talent is part of it. And having like liquid assets and prospects is how you max the cap. Yeah. I like all that. I mean, the cap is growing. And in some ways, you don't want to lose the ability to max out your assets because you're not paying enough people enough money. And you're acting like the Rockets a couple of years ago. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right, we'll do this card right here. Classic cards being called for by Kaz. So we'll go ahead and do it right now. Let me see. How do I cover this up? Yeah, his name is in 2 places. It's stupid. All right, we'll do it like that. All right, full name answer. Give me the full name answer. It's pretty easy, actually, if you can see it. Full name answer, not really a classic. I guess it is classic because this guy's not playing anymore. But yeah, I think this is too easy. If you guys can see who that is. Maybe I should show the back because honestly, it's kind of hard. Who is that? Full name answer. That's pretty easy. You can tell who that is. Yeah, Jeff Teague. It's Jeff Teague who's out of the league and talking all kinds of stupid smack on his podcast. That's right. Jeff Teague. I'm going to say this is a 50-point card, and Kaz got it just ahead of Reggie there. Kaz is getting the classic card today. He called for it. He got it. That's right. He's saying classic card, Lex. And well, boom, Kaz got it. Kaz got it. I know Kaz has not gotten a whole lot of classic cards, so this is a big deal. So there's 50 points for Kaz on the classic card. Boom goes to Dynamite. I think that's your second one, man, right? You've gotten 2 now. Joe Harrison, sniped. He sniped it from him. That's right. Wayne saying Atlanta is not it. Nick's going to disappoint as well. Don't see complete tie wins like 3-1, but mostly 2-2 ties. We surprised, but tough wins. I think that what happens is you can get in as a 3-1 to Vegas because of the system. They have the 4 groups, right? And the groups basically they have the winners of the groups, and then there's like some 3-1 teams that'll go to Vegas also, because there can only be one undefeated team in each group, right? So if there's 4-0 in each group, then there's still a couple other spots open, and there's like wild card spots for 3-1 teams, and that goes to point differential. So if the Raptors are 3-1 in the in-season tournament, but their point differential is good, they could actually end up in Vegas, even at 3-1, something like that. Yeah. Mike saying Darko's Coach of the Year is open. Things are set. I'd like to see this happen, especially if people are going to downgrade us and say we're not that good for this year and think that. Well, if we win a lot this year, that's what happens. Teams that aren't supposed to be doing well, their coach gets a lot of attention. And, Sam Mitchell gets a Coach of the Year, or Dwayne Casey gets a Coach of the Year. That kind of stuff happens. We want to get our 4th Coach of the Year for the Raptors and Darko Rajakovic. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see the 4th ever Raptors Coach of the Year, and it'd be in Darko. I'd love to see that. That's right. Things are set for that, Mike. You're saying that we're on our way for that? Okay. I want to see it. I want to believe you. I want to believe you. That's right. I want to believe you. That's right. All right, let's see. Maybe I'm done almost, guys. Let me just see. I'm checking the rest of my tabs. Yeah, we're talking today about FIBA basketball. FIBA has been exciting. I've been enjoying the FIBA style of play. I can see from watching the different regions, there is a little bit of a different style of play in different regions, whether it's the Americas, whether it's Europe, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia. There is a different kind of style of play in some of the teams. Watching Jamaica play versus Austria play has been eye-opening. I see different kinds of styles. Europe has more of a team game and physical game in some ways, and there's a lot of talent in the Americas that maybe still needing to figure out team stuff in a lot of these teams. Some of the teams that are good teams, like Mexico, did well in the AmeriCup pre-qualifiers. So, yeah, I've enjoyed the FIBA action, and I've enjoyed seeing former bench mob players playing on these FIBA teams like Yakb and Norman. And, man, it's been awesome. Later on this month, we're going to get to watch Sandro Mamu play for Georgia in the Eurobasket matches too. So we'll get to see a preview of our new Raptor backup center, Sandro Mamukelashvili. And I'm looking forward to that also. So, yeah, international play is awesome. And, of course, we got to watch Canada. Canada's going to be playing in AmeriCup stuff. Leonard Miller and Keyshawn George and Trey Bell Haynes. We're going to have to see how they do with Quincy Guerrier and Kabengele. It's a pretty good team, the team that Nathaniel Mitchell's got put together there. So I'm excited about Canada and AmeriCup also later this month. So, yeah, lots of good international basketball in the next month. We might not even need Rico Hines runs to get us through our Basketball Jones to get us to the regular season. Of course, the schedule's coming out today. I'll be looking out for it and checking out what's all about, and we'll go over it on Sunday. Tomorrow, I'll have a reaction to the CBL game tonight. Once again, if you're in the Toronto area and you're free tonight, come down to Pan Am Center and watch the Scarborough Shooting Stars play the Montreal Alliance in a CBL play-in game. It's only $35 to get into the arena. It's amazing. And you can come in and watch the game. Adriana's coming with me, and we'd love to have more Raptor freaks coming through and watching the CBL with us tonight at 7 p.m. Pan Am Center. It's a short notice, but if you're free and you've got the ability, come on down and just say hey. And say, hey, there's Lex over there, and we'll hang out and we'll watch the game together. And tomorrow I'll react to the CBL game and other stuff. And then on Sunday, we're going to do a Share the Love Club for Norman Powell and his excellence with Jamaica, and also his fun party on Friday night. So expect Norman Powell, Share the Love Club Saturday morning. Sunday, schedule review, special report on the Raptors schedule. That's the schedule for our channel coming up in the next 3 days. Right there. That's it right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Kaz saying, W stream, W community. Take care, everyone. Let's go Raptors. I love that. Mike saying, maybe that's a bet to take. The win total line is so low. And if we win like 8 over 500 and it's like 50 win plus record, yeah. I mean, once again, the preseason, before people find out how good the Raptors are going to be when they play on the court, is the time to put your bets in for the Raptors to be successful, because you will make it better at a better rate right now. If you put that bet in now, lock it in, because everybody's doubting them. But when they take the court in the beginning of the season, they're going to kick some ass, hopefully, because the schedule's a good schedule. And then it'll be over then. The odds will change. So get locked in now at a good rate if you really want to gamble on the Raptors as a team to be successful this year. Do it now before they get exposed as being a good team in the beginning of the season, because that's what's going to happen. I can see that happening, guys. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak Stream Thursday Think Tank call-in show. I appreciate Mike and Seymour for calling in on the show today. Seymour, your fourth quarters is a great new segment. I love it. And Mike, I'm going to call you soon to talk to you about what I want to do in a certain project. But everybody, have a great day. Let's go Raptors. We the North, baby. Let's go Yakb in Austria. Let's go Jamaica and Norman Powell. Let's go CBL, Shooting Stars, and Montreal Alliance in the playing game tonight. And support basketball. Go to Global Jam. Global Jam's continuing today. That's a fantastic event to check out also. So, yeah, thank you, Isaac, for putting me on blast. And there's Brandon Ingram, too. I like that. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Shooting Stars. Yeah, I'm going to go put my Shooting Stars shirt on now and get ready for tonight. Woo!